What about blend? Let's just talk about blend. You know, I mean, there are times maybe where it's just a free for all, but most of the time we are trying to blend. And usually you have like pointed. Some people have, I've heard, like kind of a pointed voice where it's real, just naturally like you know, all tone.
Right.
If tone was a 10 and breath was like a 0, you know, where it's like you lived, you died, you know, you lived. You know, so
Right.
somewhere in between. Is that what you're saying? Kind of
right.
dialing in, okay, maybe a 7, or maybe we'll dial it back.
The biggest thing about blending is becoming one with your neighbor. You know, I have to listen to Nerva and with this spirit of humility come into how she's singing it and try to match her, and she's going to do the same for me. So it's not like your best vocalist comes in and says, well, everyone's just going to match me today. You know, we all have to match each other because we're all different. We all have different timbre, and we all have different styling that we have come into this session with. So we've got to listen to each other. And that blend is just making it sound like that one voice, like you were talking about in Second Chronicles. We want to make it one sound where nobody sticks out. But at the same time, a lot of singers, I think that the word blending means to not be confident, to be more timid, you know, like,
Right.
you live, you die, you know, like real shy about it. You don't want to be shy. You want to be confident. You want to sing that part out. But you want to use that breath, your breath control that we're, you know, talking about from earlier, just to work it all together, you know. Use that breath support to bring the pitch to where it needs to be, but blend with your neighbor. So
Now, that reminds me of the other issue that sometimes we have is everybody has slightly different tuning, too. So, you know, like my wife will accuse me of singing slightly sharp. And it's not like, it's just a few cents, you know, and maybe someone just naturally sings a little bit flat and just consistently. So it's important to start to become aware of that. Like sometimes she'll actually purposely try to sing a little bit sharper, if you will.
Yeah.
Is that crazy? I mean, we're talking degrees, almost to the congregation. They might not even be aware of that, but I don't know how we work with that.
It all goes along with developing your ear. The ear is like, you know, as important as your voice is, your ear is almost more important in this scenario because you are listening. You're listening to the worship leader. You're listening to, you know, how he phrases something or how he puts something together, how if he's hitting it really hard or really soft, you know, it's like, it's not just like turn it on and go. There's degrees of it. You know, you're going to listen for, you know, if you're really going for a crescendo, we're going to crescendo with you. We're going to sing louder. We're going to sing softer. We're going to, you know, it's, you know, we're paying attention and we're listening to one another. And pitch is really about listening to the primary instrument. Like if you're leading worship, I'd want to make sure that I could hear enough of your guitar. Or if Alexis was leading worship from the piano, I'd want to make sure that I had enough of the keys in my, you know, or a combination of both, just tonal instruments that will keep my pitch centered. And then I'm listening to everybody else. And like you said, people hear pitch at different, you know, like different varying degrees that are right, you know, that it's not really off. You just have to kind of learn where the other singers are putting it. And sometimes when you have more singers, it kind of, it's almost like a law of averages, you know. You have some that sing a little sharp, some that sing a little flat. It just all ends up kind of in the soup there. So,
and usually the leader or whomever's in charge can dictate what will be best for the song. So the goal is to capture the tone, the pitch, everything to make the sound great, you know, and everyone doing what they need to do to make that happen, and it will, you know. And it takes practice. It doesn't just happen automatically. A group of singers who have sung together for a long time have had a lot of practice at it, and they sound like one voice because they can pretty much predict what the soprano's her timbre is gonna sound like in the tenor. So it takes practice. It takes work. And a lot of skillful singers can come together for the first time and just automatically blend. But those that don't be discouraged because you can learn it, you know, you can practice.
What would be a blending issue, like problem that you've encountered where, you know, what would be perhaps an issue that our you know, viewers might face, and how would you overcome that?
It could be a variety of things like
vibrato.
Vibrato for
is the
sure.
first thing I thought of,
That's the first thing, yeah.
For sure. And if someone's singing a little brighter than